Hello, I'm Alejandro Rombo, and today I'm going to present malicious software, also known as malware. The scope of this presentation will provide information and awareness on a few malicious softwares. The agenda will start with malware classification, then move to viruses, worms, Trojan horse, and conclude with countermeasures. Malware classification. First, we're going to go over what malware is. Malware is a software that specifically designs to disrupt, damage, or gain authorized access to a computer system. Some earlier approaches to malware classification were distinguished between those that need a host program, being parasitic code such as viruses, and those that are independent, self-contained programs run on systems such as worms and trojans. Another distinction used was between malware that does not replicate, such as trojans and spam email, and malware that does, including viruses and worms. Initially, the development and deployment of malware required considerable and technical skill by software developers, but this shifted when virus creation toolkits came into play in general attack kits in the 2000s. These toolkits, aka crimeware, included a variety of propagation mechanisms and payload modules that even novices can combine, select, and deploy. There are a number of attack kits in active use. However, kits change from year to year as attackers continue to evolve and improve them. Attack sources have changed to more organized and dangerous, like politically motivated attackers, criminals, and organized crime. Viruses. A computer virus is a piece of software that can infect other programs or any type of executable content by modifying them. The modification includes injecting the original code with a routine to make copies of the virus code, which can then go to infect other content. The infection can spread from computer to computer, aided by unsuspecting users who exchange these programs or files via disk or USB sticks, or over the internet. The network environment is a perfect place for viral code to spread since it's able to access documents, applications, and system services on another computer. There's three parts to a virus. The infection mechanism, means by which a virus spreads or propagates, enable it to replicate. Trigger, the event or condition that determines when the payload is active or delivered. Payload, what the virus does besides spreading, involves damage or may involve benign but noticeable activity. Lifetime of a typical virus goes through four phases. The dormant phase, the virus is idle. Propagation phase, the virus places a copy of itself into other programs or into certain system areas on the disk. Trigger phase, the virus is activated to perform the function for which it was intended. Execution phase, the function is performed. The function may be harmless, such as a message on the screen, or damaging, such as the destruction of programs and data files. A macrovirus, a macrovirus that attaches itself to documents and uses the macro programming capability of documents applications to execute and propagate. This includes macros in Microsoft Word, Excel, documents, and script code. Worms. A worm is a program that actively seeks out more machines to infect, and then each infected machine serves as an automated launching pad for attacks on other machines. Worm programs exploit software vulnerabilities in client or server programs to gain access to each new system. They can spread from system to system through network connections, shared media, such as USB driver or CD and DVD data disks. Email worms spread in macro or script code in documents attached to an email or to instant messenger file transfers. The worm has the same phases as a computer virus: the dormant, propagation, triggering, and execution. During the propagation phase, a network worm searches for other systems to infect, also known as scanning, exploits software vulnerabilities in remotely accessible network services, and identifies potential systems running the vulnerable service and infect those. Infected machines repeat the process and scan for other machines. Mobile phone worms first appeared in 2004 and communicated through Bluetooth wireless connection and via multiple media messaging service. More recent malware targets Android and iPhone systems, and this completely disables the phone, deletes data on the phone, and forces the device to send costly messages to premium service numbers. Trojan horse. A Trojan horse is a useful or apparently useful program or utility containing hidden code that, when invoked, performs some unwanted or harmful function. Trojan horse programs can be used to accomplish functions indirectly that the attacker could not accomplish directly. To gain access to sensitive, personal information stored in the files of a user, when executed, scans the user's files for the desired sensitive information and send copy of it to the attacker via web form or email or text message. Trojan spreads through social engineering, tricking users to assist in the compromise of their own system or personal information. Also, viewing and responding to spam email or permit installation and execution of some Trojan horse program or script code. Some Trojans avoid the requirement for user assistance by exploiting some software vulnerability to enable automatic installation and execution. Trojans share features of a worm but does not replicate. Mobile phone Trojans first appeared in 2004. More recently, a significant number of Trojans have been detected that target Android phones and Apple iPhones, usually distributed via one or more of the app marketplaces for the target phone operating system. Countermeasures. First is prevention. Do not allow malware to get into the system in the first place, or block the ability of it to modify the system. Sometimes this goal is nearly impossible to achieve. Another countermeasure is to ensure all systems are as current as possible with all patches applied. Next, set appropriate access controls on the applications and data stored on the system to reduce the number of files that any user can access. These measures target the key spread mechanism used by worms, viruses, and some Trojans. Moreover, appropriate user awareness and training can help prevent attacks. Users need to take precautions to validate the source of any software they install. Use antivirus software on each end system. The use of antivirus software on personal computers is now widespread due to the explosive growth in malware volume and activity. As the malware arms race has evolved, both the malware code and the antivirus software have grown more complex and sophisticated. If you can't help yourself and need to execute a type of malware, you can use the sandbox analysis. This method detects and analyzes malware. It involves running potential malicious code in an emulated sandbox or on a virtual machine. This allows the code to execute in a controlled environment where its behavior can be closely monitored without it threatening the security of a real system. This extended analysis can be used to develop antivirus signatures for new unknown malware. This will conclude my presentation on malicious software. And now for the question. What are the four phases a typical virus goes through during its lifetime?